Dear friends, welcome to another episode of Geopolitical and Military News. In this video, we will talk about how small drones have become the biggest nightmare for massive steel-armored monsters. When armored combat vehicles emerged in 1916, it immediately sparked a technological arms race in a cat-and-mouse style. Whenever a vehicle appeared on the battlefield with new and more resistant armor, the adversary sought to develop means capable of bypassing or neutralizing that advantage. With this race reaching its peak during World War II, major powers had already developed highly lethal anti-tank weapons, such as the German Flak 37. Despite being extensively used for air defense, capable of knocking out any Soviet or American armored vehicle up to 3 kilometers away, the result was the development of vehicles with even larger and heavier armor. It was within this technological race between armored vehicles and the means to neutralize them that weapons began to emerge. Despite being very small, light, and compact, they could neutralize large steel monsters. An example is the Panzerfaust, an anti-tank grenade launcher weighing less than 6 kilograms but with the potential to disable armored vehicles weighing over 50 tons, thanks to its shaped charge explosive warhead. Instead of trying to penetrate the armor through brute force and speed, as was the case with traditional anti-tank cannons, the Panzerfaust had a shaped hollow charge warhead. Thanks to this design, when the explosive is detonated, it generates a plasma beam at thousands of degrees, capable of penetrating large and thick armor. This principle has proven so effective that it is still used today in modern anti-tank grenades and missiles. The response to these weapons came in the form of explosive reactive armor, which are essentially bricks with small explosive charges inside that detonate when hit by anti-tank grenades. With this explosion, the plasma beam is diverted, preventing the penetration of the armor. In response to this defensive innovation, dual-charge anti-tank grenades were developed, with the first charge responsible for destroying the explosive reactive armor, leaving the armor free to be hit by the second charge. As expected, there was also a response to this innovation, giving rise to active defenses. Unlike explosive reactive defenses, which are activated when hit by projectiles and anti-tank grenades, active defenses intercept grenades and missiles still in flight, moments before they collide with the armor. It was within this intense cat-and-mouse race between offensive and defensive measures that the idea of attacking armored vehicles through the use of small drones carrying anti-tank grenades emerged. This idea began to be put into practice on a mass scale in Ukraine. Facing the world's largest armored fleet, Ukrainians began to look for alternative defense methods, leading to the urgent need for the use of drones, both for launching grenades against the tops of armored vehicles and as carriers of anti-tank grenades, like traditional RPGs. But how can a small drone weighing less than 1 kilogram knock out armored monsters weighing over 50 tons? The attack principle is the same as grenade launchers, aiming to hit the armor with an explosive with a shaped hollow charge warhead. However, traditional launchers have very short ranges, at most a few hundred meters, and are not very accurate, being more useful against stationary targets. Moreover, they can be diverted by explosive reactive defenses. The alternative is anti-tank missiles, with ranges that can reach 5 kilometers, but these are terribly expensive weapons, with many exceeding $50,000 per unit. Therefore, the idea of using drones carrying small anti-tank grenades directly against the most vulnerable points of an armored vehicle began to gain strength among Ukrainians. By employing a fast and highly maneuverable $500 drone weighing less than 1 kilogram, Ukrainians, and later Russians, gained access to a true anti-tank sniper weapon capable of hitting the weak points of any armored vehicle. But what are these weak points? Armored vehicles are offensive weapons, meaning they were made to attack the enemy head-on. Therefore, much of the armor of these vehicles is concentrated in the front and the turret, the most visible and prominent element. Since a significant portion of the armor is concentrated in the front and turret, hitting an armored vehicle in these areas is not the best strategy. So, with drones that are very agile and equipped with high-resolution cameras, the operator can precisely target the vehicle's weak points, such as optical and night vision systems. With these systems destroyed, the armored vehicle becomes blind, forcing the commander to observe the battlefield through binoculars, exposing themselves and dramatically reducing the accuracy of attacks. Another weak point that is exploited is the top and rear of the turret. As I mentioned earlier, almost all the armor of an armored vehicle is concentrated in the front since its goal is to attack the enemy head-on. Therefore, the top and rear of the turret have comparatively much less armor and can be penetrated relatively easily by an anti-tank grenade. By hitting and penetrating the rear of the turret, the ammunition, which in Russian armored vehicles is located exactly around and beneath this structure, is often immediately detonated, resulting in a fatal explosion that frequently ejects the turret many tens of meters. In response to this, Russians and Ukrainians are installing extra armor or drone traps, such as screens and nets, very simple solutions that can be highly effective in preventing hits to the top or rear of the turret due to these protections. Another alternative is to target the engine, located at the rear of the chassis, just behind the turret. By hitting the engine, the vehicle becomes immobilized on the battlefield, becoming a very easy target to be taken down by traditional RPG launchers. If you are not yet subscribed to the channel, subscribe now to support us, and leave your like. Until next time.